Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a spring eye look using an affordable palette. I have a few videos that are going to go up this week. This one is going to go first, and this is the spring makeup look using an affordable palette. So we're going to use the Colourpop Sweet Talk palette. This palette came out, I believe it was in 2019, so this is definitely not a new palette by any means, and especially by Colourpop's means, because they release something new literally each week. Sometimes twice a week, depending on what they have going on. So this is one of my favorite palettes. It is full of peaches and corals and golds, and it's just very stunning. The palette has 12 shades. There are 2 pressed glitters in here, so just be aware if you're not a fan. There are 2 of them. This one up here is one of their Super Shock shadows. There are 2 shimmer shades, these 2 right here, and then the rest are true mattes. There are no mattes with glitters in this palette. So we're going to do that today. And then later this week, I'm going to put up another video doing a spring eye look using a more expensive palette, and we're going to use the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette for that. And this one is really the exact opposite of the Sweet Talk palette in almost every way. There are more shadows, they are completely different colors, so we're going to have a little bit of fun this week with some makeup videos. So we're going to get started with our Sweet Talk palette, and this is the completed eye look over here. This is what it's going to look like when we are completely done. So we're going to start with our fluffy crease brush, and we're going to go into the shade Catch Me, which is right here at the top. It's a very light peach color, and we're going to use that in our crease as the transition shade. So we're just going to blend it. Circle it and buff it. Now for the actual crease color, we're going to go into the shade Dream Maker, which is right here in the middle row, next to one of the pressed glitters. And I'm going to use the same brush that I just used for the transition shade. And Colourpop shadows are very powdery, so I do like to tap some of that excess off. And we're just going to blend this over that transition shade. Like so. And then we're going to use a shorter, stiffer brush. This is one that I have from BH Cosmetics. It just says it's their number 10 brush. But really any shorter, denser brush will do. It looks a little like this. And we're going to mix 2 shades. We're going to mix the shades Meadow and ICYMI, in case you missed it. So this one and this darker one here, we're going to mix these 2 together to get a shade that we're going to use to kind of darken up and deepen the outer V of our eye and our crease. And this is going to take a little bit of buildup. It's going to take a little bit of time. So this is one of those situations where you just really need to trust the process. In what you're doing. Add a little bit more of that darker shade. And when you do this, you really want to keep it lower than the first shade that you used. because you want that first shade to still peek out a little bit. I'm going to go in with one more layer of these two shades. To really get it built up to what I'm looking for. There we go. Very warm, very fiery. Now using that first fluffy brush that we used, I just wiped it off so there's no product. We're just gonna blend those edges of that darker shadow. Now we're gonna use the Super Shock shadow. This is called Side to Side, and I love the Super Shock shadows. They're one of my favorite items from Colourpop that you can get. And the best way to apply them is with your fingertip. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some on my finger. And then what you're going to do is just swipe and pat. Now this is a glittery formula. It's not a pressed glitter, it is a Super Shock shadow. But you can use a glitter glue if you'd like. I did not do that today. There you go. And then if you want to clean up your crease, you can just use that smaller brush again to wipe away any of the glitter in your crease. There we go. And then I want to make that first shade kind of peek out a little bit more than it is right now. So I'm going to use my fluffy brush again. Just like that. There we go. Okay, there is a little bit of fallout with the shadow, the Super Shock. You can see it on my face. I'm just going to wipe it off because I did do my foundation. Usually I don't do my foundation first. But today I did, so. And it's not a big deal. I'm just going to sparkle on my face for a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to work on the lower lash line. So I'm going to use my IT Cosmetics smudger brush. This is one of my favorite lower lash brushes. And I'm going to use those two darker shades that we mixed together to get that really warm crease. And I'm going to smudge it on the outer part. And the whole lower lash line. And then I'm going to wipe it off, and then using the same brush, I'm going to go into the first two shades we used, so the transition shade and then the crease color. I'm going to mix those together, and then we're going to buff it underneath to help eliminate any harsh lines. There we go. Okay. And then we're just going to add our mascara. So I'm going to use my Rare Beauty mascara today. I absolutely love this one. Now while we're letting that dry, you can absolutely add an inner corner highlight if you want to. I didn't do that today. And I typically don't because I don't like the way it sits in my inner corners. But, you know, obviously you can do whatever works best for you. And there isn't really a shadow in this palette that could really be used as an inner corner highlight, so if you do want to go that route, you might need to dip into another palette. And I have a little bit of a mascara smudge. But that's okay, because once it dries, we can just clean it right off. Alright guys, and there we have it. A warm toned coral spring eye. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like the video if you'd like to see more of these, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one.